Right, good morning. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to this webinar hosted by Feefo and PathwayPort, growing your brokerage with a smarter client experience. We'll just give another few seconds because I can see the attendees going up. So good morning to everybody. Welcome. Okay. So let me do a round of introductions for our presenters before we kick off. So hi, everyone. I'm Jats, Slezak. I'm Head of Partnerships and Alliances at Feefo. So it's my role here at Feefo to develop partnerships with other technology platforms, services companies, broker networks, other membership organizations with insurance, and come up with solutions and offers which can mutually benefit our partners and customers in the insurance world. We have Dana Petrovic from PathwayPort. So Dana has been working for over 5 years with PathwayPort, working with hundreds of brokers here in the UK, but also across North America, the USA and Canada. And she helps them to modernize their operations through automation. We also have Michael O'Malley. Michael has been with Feefo since the start of the year. Prior to that, was working for several years as a consultant within financial services. And Michael, since he's joined Feefo, has been working closely with many of our brokers, helping them to optimize their outcomes from the Feefo platform. So why have we chosen to do this webinar now? So we've been speaking with hundreds of brokers over the last year, and a common theme keeps cropping up, which is that brokers want to do more, they want to grow, but they have a lack of time, lack of resources, and keep coming up across headwinds such as onerous compliance tasks. So when I hear problems like that, for me, that signals there's a need there to be working smarter. And typically that means automating those repetitive processes to free up time that you can focus again on building your business. And the worlds that PathwayPort and Feefo operate in are those around customer communications, getting closer to your customers, and growing through improving the customer experience and doing it through a smart way of automating it so it runs in the background. So if you're a broker and you want to grow, but you're time poor, then this could be the perfect thing for you. So what we're going to take you through today is I'm going to do a little bit around customer feedback and how you can grow through customer feedback and handle compliance tasks. I'm going to share some not so obvious ways that feedback can help you to do that. Dana's going to take you through some proven strategies around how you can automate for success. And because of that nice overlap between Feefo and PathwayPort, we decided it made total sense to build an integration. So Michael is going to take you through what that's all about. And then we've left some time at the end for some Q&A. So what I'm going to take you through first can be divided into these three pillars. So the first is around your brand reputation. When people first come across your brokerage as a brand, how does that come across? How are you represented out there in the world? So I'll give you some tips around that. Secondly, I'm going to be looking at the digital marketing funnel. So this is something that brokers don't always think about. How can you take that initial interest and move it through that funnel so that it ends up as a sales lead for your team? And the final piece is around compliance. How can you simplify compliance to free up more time so you can feed that back into business development activities? Okay, so many of you will know Feefo already, but for those of you who don't, Feefo has been working with insurance businesses for over 18 years now. And since then, our insurance sector part of the business has grown and grown. And it makes total sense, really, because the way the Feefo ethos around 100% verified feedback and making sure all feedback is traceable to a real customer lends itself really nicely to regulated industries. And so our insurance business has now grown hugely to now hundreds of businesses across brokers, providers, services companies, and multiple partners within that industry. So everything we learn there gets fed back into the platform and our development so it can serve the needs of brokers today, but as the needs evolve, we can serve them for tomorrow as well. We're Google partners, That's important. I'll be coming on to that in a moment. And you get all in one platform, some automated digital marketing, handling some aspects of compliance and customer research. So if you're going to hire somebody and they could do some marketing tasks, they could do some compliance tasks and some customer research, and you could have that for as little as £99 per month potentially, that would seem like a no-brainer. So that's what you get within Feefo, or within that one platform. So first of all, I want to talk about brand reputation, okay? So let your clients be your greatest marketing asset. So one thing brokers are really good at actually is referral marketing. So they're really good at working their network and getting warm leads into other potential customers through their network. The limitation around that though is scale. So how do you add scale to that? Well, you want to take those positive comments and that goodwill from your network, and you want to amplify that. And the way to do that is through the online world, and then through weaving that into your marketing communications as well. So you want to be thinking about, how does your brand show up in the places where people might come across it in the first place? So that's either through the research stage, or it could be where people have spoken to your team already and they want to just go back and see who you are as a business and research that way. Okay, so I think that it's now conclusive that the way to handle that is through transparency. We see that across various industries that we work with, but none more so than insurance. And what do I mean by transparency? I mean by showing feedback, whether positive or negative, but then also how you handle that negative feedback, and putting that all out in the open has a higher impact on conversion and sales than if you try and close shop and don't make it open. Okay, so if you look at two different businesses, one way it's hard to find out information about them, and one who's transparent and they put everything out there, it's night and day. I'll happily show anybody some examples after this of how the two compare. The other area is around social media. Not everybody's comfortable around social media. I do see some brokers doing a great job of it. But again, it's all about that openness, and it's another way, increasingly so, that potential customers can find you and will research you. And whether you're comfortable doing social or not, a great way to do that is to take positive sentiments and customer comments and amplifying them out into social. And the Feefo platform helps you to do that. So all of that is going to help you attract more people to your business and have the confidence to come and inquire with you. But also another benefit around that is attracting talent into your business. I know that's a real problem, not just for brokers, but right across insurance, getting people into the industry, and then the good people who come into the industry, fighting for them against other businesses. If you're a potential employee and you've got to decide between different businesses, the one who can openly show they've got that commitment to customer experience and doing a great job for their customers, it's going to tip those people towards you. And you can even use feedback to incentivize staff, incentivize them to offer a great customer experience, and that can help boost retention as well. Okay, so I want you to think now like a digital marketer within retail e-commerce. Now, why retail e-commerce? Well, of all the sectors that we work with, they're the most obsessive about taking customer interest and moving it through that cycle all the way through to a nice sales lead, which is what you want. So what are those different stages in that process? Well, there's the research stage where you need to appear in the search rankings. Then once you're there, what's going to make somebody click on your website rather than somebody else? And then you get them through to your homepage of your website. How can you keep them there without losing them, and take them through and make them feel like they see everything they need to see, so they will actually convert and inquire with you either over the phone or fill out a contact form, or however you have that call to action. Okay, so the e-commerce retailers are the best at this because they obsess over all of these different stages. So search engine rankings, how can you actually improve your search engine ranking with customer feedback? Well, actually, many of the things that an engine like Google is looking for can be influenced by customer feedback. So whether it's things like adding fresh content to your site to make it seem like an active site, reviews being added to your site can do that. Replying to reviews is actually something that a search engine like Google will look for. Okay, having a dedicated reviews section on your website is another thing that can contribute to it. So all of these things and many more will be contributing to where you can rank in that search engine results page. Okay, so now you're there. How do you get somebody through to the next stage? Well, if you work with the search engines like Google, Bing, you can actually feed your reviews into them. So you can connect your account in Feefo to Google, and that will actually be feeding reviews through to them, which can populate stars in organic search results or even in your ads as well. How important are those? On average, about 10 to 20% click-through rate increase, but it can be even more. And we know that because if Google ever changes anything, those online retailers, they're calling us and saying, hey, what changed? My click-through rates have dropped off. So it makes a huge difference. Over a day, you might not notice it, but over a month, you would notice it. Over a year, it's going to make a measurable impact. When somebody's onto your website, once they've clicked through, they need to feel like they're seeing everything they need to see to have the reassurance to go ahead and inquire. The last thing you want is somebody bouncing off the page because they don't feel they're getting full transparency. So going back to what I said before, have a dedicated reviews page, show all reviews, show your replies, make people feel they've seen everything they need to get that trust to inquire. Okay, another thing I want to talk about is many people, when they're using a reviews provider, they will have their reviews display, which will link off to the reviews provider's website. Be careful about that. If you do that, somebody will bounce off your website, and all of that dwelling time on the site, all of those clicks are now contributing to the domain authority of the reviews provider, not your website. Okay, so with Feefo, we can keep everything on that one page, so it all contributes to the ranking of your site. Really important. It can be even worse because if you're paying for a pay-per-click ad, per click you might be paying £3, £4 to Google, and then diverting your potential customer to a reviews comparison site where you lose them forever and they go with a competitor. Okay, so just be careful of that one. Final thing on here, to learn from those online retailers, customer segmentation, looking for ways to upsell. Have you ever had your favorite retailer contact you at just the right time with an offer and you think, how did they know I was thinking about buying that? Reviews can now feed into segmentation, and it's an area where people are now looking at more and more, where if you time somebody who's left a positive review and you can look at their purchase history, you can time them with upsells. So you'll be able to look at when somebody's left a positive review, what policies they've bought, what other policies other people have bought as potential upsells, and it's a nice warm hunting ground for you to go after. And we're going to be partnering more with PathwayPort around how we can do segmentation as well. So giving a quick example there, William Russell, one of the brokers we've been working with, click-through rates increased 170%, conversion rates increased 71%, sales leads up 253%. What are the projects are you working on right now? Within a few days of setting up, can start working towards those kinds of improvements. Huge impact. And many of the things I've been talking about here, go and have a look at their site. You can see how they structured it, how they're using reviews. Very powerful. All right, I want to talk about compliance, but I haven't called this section compliance. I've called it reacting quickly. And that's really important because when you look at some of the things that from a compliance perspective you need to do, so consumer duty, all about listening to customers, proving how you reacted to any customer issues. You've got things like the cross-cutting rules and avoiding foreseeable harm. If you can steer the ship back on course nice and early, you can actually prevent issues from escalating and resolve them. So if we look at the different stages of handling consumer duty compliance, you want to be collecting feedback as many places as possible so you can pinpoint any issues. Divert negative feedback to the right people so they can engage quickly. Engage with those customers, put them right if you can. And within Feefo, you've actually got the chance to re-rate before issues escalate, and you can save that rating. Handle complaints, you can do it within the platform or you can take it off the platform as per your preference. You can then track your results and you can have all of that within reports so you can neatly put them into your consumer duty board pack. This is a real world example from a broker. I've actually shown here not just the normal star rating and how you can track that. So you could track that against different policies, for example. How did they perform? Different parts of the business, locations. But with this is actually monitoring sentiment around different topics. And I wanted to show that because it actually will surface things that you weren't even thinking of. So you can see in this case, they've had an issue at the start of July, been able to remedy it, and that's been able to slowly move that sentiment, in this case, around the topic service, up over time. So really important that you get all of that lined up, be more efficient, because compliance can take a huge amount of time. We've had brokers tell us it can take up to 20% of their time handling compliance tasks. You could be feeding that back into staff training, development tasks. And you can also use great work by the team to monitor it within Feefo and incentivize the team to carry on doing great work around improving customer service. Take a look at somebody like Event Insurance. They collect feedback at different points of the customer journey, and they've been able to use that to amplify what they do through their whole network of B2C and B2B. Feefo is very quick to implement. The quickest thing to do would be to book a consultation with our team. Feefo does rely on customer data because everything is traceable back to a real customer. Now, if you also are a PathwayPort customer, that will be handled through the PathwayPort integration. You just need to decide which touch points you want to collect feedback from. Within Feefo, it's worth saying that you can collect feedback privately. So perhaps you want to collect public feedback for new policies, renewals, but maybe for the claims process, you want to keep that private. You can do that all within Feefo. Or if you're not sure what feedback you might get in the first instance overall, you can start private and then flip to public later on. So you have that flexibility. You need to decide how you want to display reviews. I've given some pointers today on best practice. We can help you with that. And then from a reporting compliance perspective, set up which reports you want to see and schedule them. Okay, so they're the areas I've talked about today. I appreciate I've not been able to go into demos and details. I'd love to speak with you in more detail, show you through some real-world examples. You can contact me on partners@feefo.com. We can talk about these different areas, and I can give you some tips. Whether you're new to Feefo or you're an existing Feefo customer, it would be great to talk and see what you could be doing differently to get the maximum value. All right, thanks everybody. I'm now going to pass over to Dana from PathwayPort.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Okay. Thank you, Jats. Thank you for the intro. My name is Dana from Pathway. We are leading automation and communication platform, both specifically for insurance brokerages across the UK, Canada, and the US, as Jats previously mentioned. Just quickly where we are today. Today, we work with 400 brokerages across these markets, and our mission remains simple. We help brokers automate repetitive manual workflows so they can spend less time chasing admin and more time focusing on clients. That means smoother renewals, fewer delays, better service, and ultimately, stronger client retention and revenue. So let's talk briefly about why automation has become such a priority for brokerages today. Clients today expect more than just a policy. They want fast, clear, and regular communication. And with regulations like Consumer Duty, there's more pressure than ever to deliver a consistent, high-quality experience across the client journey. The reality is that many brokers are struggling to hire and retain staff. Teams are stretched thin, and there simply isn't enough time in the day to do everything manually, especially at scale. Relying on people to remember every follow-up, renewal, or payment reminder leaves room for errors. Manual processes lead to delays, missed renewals, and potential E&O exposure, all of which can impact your bottom line. But here's the good news. Brokers who automate key parts of their communication process are seeing real results. So what some of our broker partners are sharing, they've seen 2 to 4% boost in client retention simply by staying proactive and consistent. Teams are reporting 40 to 60% time savings on admin-heavy tasks like follow-ups, emails, and data gathering. There are also fewer missed renewals, fewer compliance issues, and payments come in faster because no one's chasing them manually, and there is an efficient and effective process in place. And the best part, it helps you scale without adding more headcount. That's a huge win in today's hiring environment. Now, automation only works if it's accurate and timely, right? So that's why integration and building a connected ecosystem of tools is so important. Pathway connects directly with your policy admin system, like Actors. So there is no need to export lists, upload spreadsheets, or sync things manually. We pull client and policy data and a lot more from your system daily, and we use that to automatically trigger communications. For example, let's say a policy is 60 days from renewal. Pathway sends a reminder email with a personalized message and a detailed questionnaire. If a payment is overdue, Pathway sends a gentle chaser email or SMS, continues checking if client is still late a week later, and automatically triggers additional comms. If yes, another email goes out or alerts for the team to let them know they need to get involved, depending on how you'd like to process this process to look like. Everything's personalized using existing client and policy data, so your team doesn't need to lift a finger. And okay, yeah, so today we don't have time to talk about all the different workflows you can have with Pathway, but let's focus on a few crucial automated workflows that I wouldn't say every, but almost every broker partner we work with has in place. Starting with pre-renewal outreach. This one's big. Instead of relying on manual tasks or hoping someone remembers to send an email, Pathway automatically kicks off a renewal sequence, 30, 45, 60, 90, whenever it makes sense, days before the renewal date. Of course, fully customizable. Important to note, for renewals, for payment chasers, and any other workflow and communication we're talking about, every email on client sent is delivered from a specific email address, usually either account handler or account executive working with the client. But the idea is to keep that personal touch, so your clients are receiving emails from your brokerage and from your team members. So a bit more about these pre-renewal letters. Usually, these workflows would include, first of all, a personalized email to the client with all the details needed there, right? So their personal details, policy-related details, renewal dates, whatever makes sense, we can pull it in from the main system. Additionally, usually, these letters would have an embedded digital questionnaire asking about coverage changes or any changes on client's end. So you remember those forms your team is sending out manually, first of all, preparing them manually, adding the details needed, then sending them out. So all of that is now fully automated. This email goes out and then a follow-up reminder if a client is not responding within a few days. So again, no need for manual intervention. Once they do respond, we create tasks back in your system, and we can also send alerts to your team members to remind them they need to review the answers client has provided. An added bonus to these emails are customized coverage recommendations, added to the email only for those clients missing a specific line of coverage automatically. So any communication going out is fully personalized, customized, and relevant. So again, we're keeping things simple today, but here's an example of how a workflow can look like. Brokers using Pathway have very detailed workflows, decision trees, where they're monitoring if clients are receiving emails, if they're completing questionnaires, and if not, setting up what the next step should be. Is it an internal alert, an email, or a task, or maybe an SMS going out to the client? And of course, there can be multiple and various touch points as part of a single workflow. Another great example, we already mentioned this one, so payment chasers. If you're still manually checking for overdue accounts and following up, we can help definitely. Pathway automatically sends out branded, personalized reminder messages when a payment is overdue. These can include key policy details, payment links, payment instructions, or a call to action to contact your office. It saves time, improves collections, and keeps everything professional and on brand, all without chasing down accounts manually. Usually, we're seeing a 7, 14, 21-day workflows, a sequence of emails spaced out across the month, escalating if no payment comes in. But a huge time saver, really, from what brokers are sharing with us. And beyond saving time and automating admin comps, automation also opens the door to smart growth opportunities, especially when it comes to cross-selling. So let's say you've just onboarded a new client and they don't currently have cyber coverage. With automation, you can segment that group, for example, commercial clients with a specific product type, and send a targeted sequence of messages educating them about cyber risk and offering a quote. When they click on get a quote, we can, of course, set up what happens next. But these emails are relevant, timely, and it doesn't rely on a team member remembering to suggest it, right? So that's a low effort, high impact upsell, and it's all driven by the data you already have. One of the broker partners we work with recently shared with us, they paid off their entire Pathway subscription from just one successful cross-sell campaign. So that's the power of relevant, timely communication at scale. And cross-sell is just one example. So our users also automate quote follow-up workflows to re-engage clients or prospects who haven't yet converted, onboarding journeys for new clients to guide them through the first, let's say, 30 days, prospecting campaigns to reach out to leads with personalized messaging, even seasonal campaigns or product-specific education, all triggered automatically, and a lot more than that. So all of this helps brokers not just retain business, but actively grow their book without adding manual workload for their team. And of course, it's not just set and forget. You get full visibility into performance. Everything that happens in Pathway, every email and SMS going out, every questionnaire completed is recorded and documented, and you can get very granular reports and monitor specific workflows, performance over time. Now, depending on the system you're using, is it Actors or something else, we might also be able to push every communication back to your system, but you will also have those reports available in Pathway. And finally, getting started with Pathway is easy. So, of course, feel free to reach out to myself or to our team if you're not already using Pathway. Once you sign up, we'll work with your team to connect to your system, configure your first few workflows, and then get you live within a matter of weeks. We provide full onboarding and training, access to our support team, pre-built templates you can personalize, so you're not starting from scratch. And whether you're just looking to automate a few key touch points or want a full client communication system that runs on autopilot, will guide you every step of the way. So that's a quick look at how brokers are using automation to scale service, boost retention, and unlock new growth. And I know we've got some brokers on today's session who are already familiar with Pathway. So here's the fun part. I'll pass it over to Michael from Feefo, who will walk you through how our platforms today work together and how you can activate this integration in your own brokerage. Michael, over to you.
Excellent. Thanks, Dana. So yeah, as Jats and Dana mentioned already, I'm really here to walk you through just how seamless the integration between Feefo and PathwayPort is, how you can really use it to elevate your brokerage by really harnessing the power of automated feedback to drive growth and inform strategy. So really, in today's competitive insurance landscape, understanding your client is paramount. So it's not just about compliance or collecting a star rating. It's actually about gaining actionable insights that directly impact your bottom line. Customer feedback can provide a direct line to identifying your strengths, so understanding what you're doing exceptionally well already and how you can look to leverage these successes to attract new clients. Pinpointing areas for improvement, so you'll be able to discover those hidden pain points and service gaps that really, once you address them, can significantly lead to boosted client satisfaction. and driving strategic decisions. So you'll have the tools at your disposal to move beyond guesswork by using real client data to refine your policies, tailor your offerings, and enhance your service delivery. So getting a grasp on these three things can really help to elevate your brokerage to new heights, helping you become a proactive player within the insurance market by really identifying trends before your competition does. So we've designed our platforms to really take the heavy lifting away from a broker. So as you'll see on the screen in a moment, the entire process is designed for maximum efficiency and impact. So PathwayPort, with its robust marketing automation, collects information directly from your management system and acts as a trigger, while Feefo is your trusted and verified feedback engine, which helps to make sense of all the things that your customers are saying. One moment. So there's really 4 key stages that make this whole process seamless. So firstly, PathwayPort, as Dana mentioned, will intelligently connect with your management system, such as Actress, to collect customer data specific to a touch point that you want to collect that feedback for. So these interactions could include policy renewal or policy issuance dates, but it's really up to you when you want to collect that feedback so that you can get the most out of the platforms. You can then build in your desired flows so that you can, so that you can schedule the way that you want so that you can receive the highest response rate. So you can set trigger dates, email sends, but also reminders too, so that you keep customers engaged and that you collect the most amount of feedback. Now, once we have the data and the trend and the interaction has been defined, Pathway will dispatch a branded and personalized feedback request email directly to your clients. Now, importantly, these emails can be customized, so you can select the imagery, the wording, the language that you want to use, and this will be sent directly to your clients, taking the strain away from your teams. Importantly, as Dana mentioned too, it's all done from a centralized platform. So as mentioned, it can really take the pain away from your marketing or support teams. It's all within the one platform, very, very easy to use. So clicking a link embedded within the feedback request form will direct your clients to a secure and pre-configured Feefo feedback form. Now, the forms themselves are totally customizable, so you can look at different questions that you want to use, and you can really tailor it to the touch point. So this is just an example of a product collection, so you could look at a specific policy, but we can also look at service collection too, so that you can start to understand how your customer support team is going, how your advisors are going. You can really collect that feedback at multiple different touch points. So it's a great way to get more insight for your business. Now, a lot of our clients, insurance clients, will also use the feedback forms to collect information around consumer duty, so to really understand exactly how the policies are performing, to make sure that the customers aren't getting put into any positions of harm. So really the customer's at the front of the mind. So you're trying to understand exactly how they go about their business, but also how you can improve your products to deliver a more effective solution. We can also collect a net promoter score for you too, so you can really gauge that overall customer loyalty. But really, as a closed and verified platform, Feefo ensures that you're only receiving feedback from genuine customers, not like the open platforms. So it really creates an environment of unparalleled authenticity and trust, which is really, really important in a highly regulated industry such as insurance. Now, as Jats mentioned, you can collect at both a public touch point and a private touch point. So if you're exploring a new product launch for say, or if you're looking at more sensitive topics, so whether it's your support team or the claims process, you can choose if you want that feedback made publicly, so you can display it on your widgets, on your web page, or if you want to collect privately just for insight. At the end of the customer journey, the customer will be directed to a thank you page, which really reflects the sentiment of the feedback that was left. But it's a really great way to keep customers within your ecosphere. So you could redirect them towards signing up to a newsletter or reaching out to your team if they need further assistance. So once all the feedback has been collected, it'll then filter into the Feefo dashboard, where it will go through a stringent moderation process. So here we have intuitive reporting tools that will allow you to quickly identify trends, pinpoint those issues, but really to celebrate successes as well. So you can respond directly to your customers, as Jats mentioned. You'll have access to Feefo widgets, so you can very easily display the positive reviews that you're receiving. You also get access to intuitive reporting tools, which can help you look into the sentiment of the reviews that are being left very easily. You can break it down via different tags, the different touch points. You can really get as granular as you need. One moment. Sorry. Just back to the PowerPoint. So really from here, from here, our teams will work with you to configure the data flow, to customize those feedback forms so you've got the right questions for the right touch points. And then we can look at that automated scheduling piece. So to really ensure that you're receiving the highest response rates at all times. So just to sort of summarize, what can this really mean for your brokerage? Well, it all does come down to tangible value. So you can boost client acquisition. So that positive and verified feedback really builds trust and helps to attract those new clients, while addressing issues proactively also helps to retain your existing clients. You can optimize your operations. So you can identify and resolve those operational bottlenecks before they become headaches, which can lead to greater efficiency and profitability. You can make better strategic decisions based on real client data and not just assumptions. So this really means better products, better service, and it's just a more effective brokerage as a whole. You can empower those resources and effectively save time. So through the power of automation, you're freeing up valuable staff time so your brokers can focus on those high value activities like client retention and sales. And finally, your brokers will be able to demonstrate regulatory compliance. So, you can show proactive engagement with your clients in a verified and traceable manner. So really the Feefo and PathwayPort integration isn't just about collecting reviews. It's actually about transforming how you understand, engage with, and grow your client base. It's really about putting data-driven insight at the heart of your brokerage so that you can make smarter decisions, delight your clients, and effectively grow your business. So if you want to learn more about either of our platforms and how they work for you, feel free to book in a session with us either at Feefo or PathwayPort, and we can show you exactly how these partnerships can work for your business. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. We will now open the floor up to any questions, if there is any.
Thanks, Michael. So there was a question asking about information for around Pathway and the integration. So first of all, the recording will be available straight after this, so you can rewatch and jump to the sections most relevant. And we'll absolutely make available further information about how to set up the integration and what's available through the integration. Right, I can't see any other questions. So thank you, everybody, for attending. Thank you to the other presenters, and have a great day, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.